Half of the European population thinks that discrimination is widespread in their country, according to a study carried out by the European Union in 2023. And 21% of the study respondents felt discriminated against or experiences harassment. This shows that, unfortunately, diversity is something seen as something negative. It also shows the importance of having a diverse approach and to speak out about how beneficial diversity is.
I think there is nothing better than diversity. You can't have too much of it. I think being able to adapt to different scenarios and to be able to bring people together that come from diverse backgrounds or belong in diverse groups is the best thing to do to enhance your presence in a country.
Diversity is a way to approach to other people. Every single person is very different. When we are talking about creating an organization or creating any kind of common project or common support, we must understand that either we accept the otherness and the challenge that it represents to us to discover another world, which is another person, which is totally different inwardly, or we may have no chance for connection and no chance for common building.
According to the latest data from the European Commission, out of the 448 million people living in the EU as of 2023, 6% are non-EU citizens, 9% were born outside the EU. This means that 9% of the population living and working in the European Union was born outside its borders. These individuals hail from regions such as Asia, America, and Africa, growing up in different cultural and circumstantial contexts. Now, they share it and contribute to our values and traditions, enriching our culture and their unique traditions and perspectives. However, the migrant population, representing 9% of those born outside the EU, faces significant challenges across the continent.
Migrant population in Spain and in other countries are suffering a segregation and they are letting aside. They are not participating into the day-to-day the same way because they feel judged by people who doesn't understand their traditions, cultures and practices. So the point of Gorota Foundation is to get along together, local people with migrants, in order to share culture and discover how much this culture can belong to everybody and can be enjoyed for everybody.
Being a paperless person or asylum seeker, it makes you really disadvantaged in any context, even in Finland.
Las mujeres y niñas con discapacidad, el acceso a la educación, la violencia, la discriminación. 1 de cada 2 personas con discapacidad se siente discriminada. La falta de acceso a los servicios básicos. Los jóvenes universitarios con discapacidad, el acceso a la educación superior, las barreras en el entorno universitario que son invisibles, la falta de adaptaciones que hay en los entornos universitarios.
The challenges are mainly resources, whether that's time or money or basic trainings that are not easily accessible to everyone.
Even though these people exist like in the same city as you never see them, you never talk to them, you never meet them, so it's really easy to get a wrong idea of who they are or why they are here.
Why aren't the locals aware of the situations that these people face? First of all, because there is a difference in terms of jobs performed by migrants compared to natives. Migrants are overrepresented in some sectors, such as accommodation and food service activities, administrative and support service activities, domestic work and construction. On the other hand, migrants are underrepresented in sectors such as public administration and defense, compulsory social security, education, human health and social work activities, scientific and technical activities. This translates in a purchasing power gap, with non-EU citizens having a purchasing power standard of 14.5 euros compared to 19.2 euros for nationals. Educational struggles are evident, as 25% of non-EU citizens are early school leavers compared to 8% of nationals. There is also a housing disparity, with only 23.3% of migrants owning homes versus 73.7% of nationals. Finally, there is a significant poverty risk difference. 14.5% of the national population is at risk of poverty, rising to 37.2% for immigrants.
We try to connect people with organizations, companies, or people who can actually provide them with the skills or the connections they need to take the next step in their career or their educational journey.
So what we do is like languages courses. We help them meet people from the queer community, and there are refugees too. We give advice for them on how to seek for asylum.
In Barcelona, we will be promoting festivals from the Filipino tradition, including art exhibits, talks, performances, cinema passes, music, and this way we will reach the local population with traditional Filipino culture.
We take clients. First, we look at the options that they have. It's like what is the best residence permit option or asylum option they have. Then we either support them with the full application or we advise them on what is best for them to do. Then we do the mental health support, which is really important in our field. We also do a lot of advocacy work, like giving our opinions as an organization on Finnish government's proposed policies. And then we do leisure activities so that people have a community that they can come in and have something less stressful to do sometimes.
Why are these differences, these barriers between nationals and migrants? And more importantly, how can we break these barriers? Some youth organizations across Europe aim to do that through different channels and perspectives. That's also one of the goals of the MyCom project, to break the barriers between these two parts of the European population and show the good impact that immigrants have in the diverse continent in which we live.